Hello, I'm Eve from the University of Pennsylvania's English Language Programs, and today we're talking about the Duolingo English Test, the DET. In this video, we're going to talk about the question type, describe a picture. And this question type actually has two forms, the spoken and the written form. Here's our agenda. First, we'll take a look at examples of the question type in both the writing and the speaking tasks. Then we'll talk about what this question is looking for in a successful response. And finally, we'll talk about tips and strategies for this question type, including practice activities for before the test and what to do on the test. First, let's look at an example of the describe a picture, the speaking task. When this question first appears, you'll have 20 seconds to read the directions and look at the image. After 20 seconds, the recorder automatically begins. At the top, you'll see the countdown timer. A response needs to be at least 30 seconds long, but can be up to 90 seconds long. In the center, you'll see the directions, describe the image below. And in the center is the image. Finally, in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see the next button, which you should only hit when you're ready to submit. Now let's talk about how this task is evaluated. What does a successful response look like? First, a successful response will show some degree of fluency. And by fluency, we mean a natural pace of language. This does not necessarily mean speed, but with fluency, we're looking for natural delivery without awkward pausing. Next, a successful response will be organized. And for this type of question, organization sounds like directional language around the photo. This could also be called coherence. So tell the listener what part of the photo you're describing with phrases like in the middle or just below the sign. These signals of organization are important. Next, grammatical accuracy and complexity is also important. Yes, this refers to limiting the amount of mistakes in the response, but it's also vital to show a range or a variety of structures. A successful response has both long and short sentences with different connectors. It's also important to show off your vocabulary or lexical resource. It's a good idea to use specific or academic words when describing the image. Remember, this is a test that's measuring your English for academic purposes, right? For college admissions. So sophisticated vocabulary is really good to include here. And finally, this task is measuring your pronunciation. So this refers to individual sounds within a word, as well as stress, pausing, and intonation. As far as subscores, this is clearly a production-focused task. So your performance in this task is incorporated into the subscore for production, and it's also included in your conversation subscore. Now let's look at the writing side of the same task. This question comes with a 1-minute time limit. The instructions are also slightly different, as this is a writing task rather than a speaking task. It says to write 1 or more sentences. This is to mean that just labeling words in the pictures is insufficient or not enough. Below the directions, you'll see the image that you need to describe. And to the right of that, you can see the text box where you can type your response. Finally, in the lower right-hand corner, you can see the next button, which you should only click when you're ready to submit your response. To be successful in this task, you must also write in sentences, not words. It's always better to write as much as you can, but remember, it's only a minute for this task. So try to write as many sentences as you can. This writing task is looking specifically at fluency. And in writing, it has a slightly different meaning. With writing, it means the amount of sentences produced. Similar to the speaking task, we're also looking for that organizational language, like in the center or behind the chair, in the background. These types of organizing or directional language can help with the coherence of the response. Again, for this task, we're looking for grammatical accuracy and complexity, And this includes both the frequency of mistakes and the range in structures, and not surprisingly, vocabulary is also important in the writing part of this task. We're looking for that wide range of lexical resource or specific words. And finally, mechanics are important. So this can include spelling and punctuation, such as periods and capitalizations. As this is a production-focused task, your performance on the writing side of this is also included in the production subscore, and it's also included in the literacy subscore. Now let's look at ways to prepare for this type of question before the test. First, the good news is that pictures are everywhere. Therefore, there's no shortage of practice materials. Take a picture in a book, a newspaper, a magazine, online, or from around your house and just practice describing it. It's a good idea to have a few stock phrases to help you start this type of question. For example, in this picture, I can see, or this image shows. It's likely you'll get this question more than once on the test, so it's a good idea to have a few different phrases to start your response. Also, practicing will help you prepare for the timing constraints. It's important to know what 1 minute feels like when you're writing about an image. For some test takers, a minute can feel like an hour, and for others, a minute might feel like 5 seconds. So it's important not to be rattled or stressed out about the time constraint of this question. And one way to do that is to practice. Similar for the speaking test too. Know what 90 seconds feels like and strive to speak for the entire window. Bulk up on some prepositional phrases or adverbs of place. These are the phrases we talked about for the organizational coherence of the overall response. For example, next to or behind, in the foreground, in the background, in the upper left-hand corner. These expressions help the listener or the reader, depending on the speaking or writing, move around the image with you, and it shows a relationship between the different items in the picture. Now, when you're taking the test, here are some suggestions. Don't simply label. This question wants to see complexity, meaning different types of sentences. If you're only saying, there is a beach, there are 4 people, there is, there are, it's not showing a variety. Also, use the simple present or the present progressive to describe the image. Remember the rules for both of these tenses. For example, we could say 4 people are walking on the beach, or we could say the road is closed to traffic. So both the simple present and the present progressive are important. And finally, if you get to this task and you start running out of ideas, try to focus on the scene or make an inference about the situation. These are 2 strategies that help you say more things. Focusing on the scene means what kind of location is presented. If it's outside, what kind of day is it? Sunny, cloudy? Does this place seem crowded like a city or empty like the countryside? If it's inside, what's on the walls? What color is the furniture? Focusing on the scene can help you come up with more content for your response. Another way to come up with more content is to make an inference or a guess about the situation. What happened right before this picture was taken? What events led up to this scene? These are just a few strategies to help you when you are in the test and describing a picture. Remember, you can practice more with this type of question or other types of questions on the DET website. Thanks for checking out this video about describing a picture on the DET. And you can find more videos like this on the Penn ELP YouTube channel.